So what we're going to talk about is the second thing on the 7 secrets to FAB is after acknowledging beliefs, acknowledging fears and stuff, we're talking about our beliefs, right? And I gave you the belief trees when you came in, so can I borrow this? Sure. So I gave you the belief trees so you can just pull these out, and we're going to talk about this and what some of our beliefs are. And we already said that, beliefs are lies that we tell ourselves. We can't prove them to be true or not, but they're just things we tell ourselves, right? And a lot of times it's the beliefs that are actually holding you back. Like I said, I've had all kinds of beliefs, and we'll start talking about some others. I was told, don't ever rely on a man. Now, where would that be good and where would that be bad? Don't ever rely on a man, if that's the belief. Where is that good and where is that bad?
You'll be self-sufficient.
You'll be self-sufficient. What?
If you're living by yourself.
If you're living by yourself, you got to support yourself. You don't have to rely on a man. What else? Do you think that someone who's told don't ever rely on a man will trust men?
No.
Right? Do you think that they'll actually ever be in a good relationship with like a give and take and be good about that because you shouldn't rely on them?
Right.
How do you think they'll deal with money?
Not share it.
They won't share it, right? Because make sure my money, I got to support myself. Don't rely on a man, right? What if somebody was told that there's never enough money? How do you think they'll deal with money?
Hoard it.
They'll hoard it. What else might they do? Give it away, right? Just like we were talking with Susan before, right? Not worth, they won't have it. Okay. What are some of the stories you were told and the beliefs you had growing up? I was told money doesn't grow on trees. That's why I gave you a tree, because I want to show you how money grows on it. But what were some of the beliefs you grew up with?
Don't, who do you think you are? Like, don't be so big with yourself.
Who do you think you are? Don't be so big with yourself. So you have to kind of shrink and not be seen, right? Or you choose to get bigger to show them, I'll show you who don't be big. I'm going to become really big and seen. See what happens, listen to what happens. So what other things was it? Give me. Okay, wait, I heard this one, but I say, what was that? Oh, you must eat everything on your plate. Yes, people are starving in other countries. Oh my God, I got that one too. And here, must eat everything on your plate. Everyone in my family, well, I should say, my mother and father both were in every weight loss program there was. Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, Shackley, whatever it was, they were in it because you have to eat everything on your plate. So you can imagine who grew up. Now, obviously, compulsive, I never went to be anorexic. It wasn't my style. I mean, I wanted to eat. So eat everything on your plate was easy for me, right? And their plate, okay. But eat everything on your plate, right? It's like the people starving in other countries. Here's what's interesting about that is that that's actually living in scarcity. That's not in abundance. It's the opposite. Like there's never enough. There's not enough for other people. You better eat what you have. It's scarcity. People might think that's abundance. It's scarcity. Okay, it's a lacking mentality. And what was yours again, June?
Money doesn't buy happiness.
Money doesn't buy happiness. And then what are some of the things that happen with that belief?
I feel happy when I don't need money, so I'm content without.
I feel happy when I don't need money and I'm content without it. Okay, because money doesn't buy happiness, but yet money actually buys a lot of happiness because then you don't have to worry about things and you can actually help more people have even more things. There's a lot of times I've heard because of different religions, people will have fears of money because money is the root of all evil or all the other things. It's not that money is the root of all evil, it's the way people use money that is the root of all evil. It's not money, because money will only do more good things if it's a good person. It's not the money that's bad, but yet some people have a bad connotation towards money, right? What other kinds of beliefs have you grown up with where you might have where you heard it growing up, or somebody, a family member, or a teacher gave you something and you owned it? What other ones are there? Go ahead.
I got, oh no, you can't.
Oh no, you can't.
Oh no, you can't.
It didn't matter what it was?
Going away to school, picking a different high school, things involved with choices that I wanted to make. I was told, oh no, we can't afford it, or you'll never get there.
You'll never get there, we can't afford it.
Right? It was always
You can't, keeping you down. You can't.
Well, I got the opposite. I got nothing is impossible. So what would happen with me a lot of times...
I'm going to use this and I don't have to repeat.
So I would get nothing is impossible. Oh, pretty loud, especially for you. Okay, so I would get nothing is impossible, but in instances like I had a sister who was going through a lot of things, and I kept saying, I should be able to get her out of her thing. And she even kept saying to me, unless I'm willing to help myself, you're not going to be able to help me. And I'm like, nope, nothing is impossible. I should be able to get you out of this. I should be able to get you to do this. And I just kept on and on and on trying to figure out a way until my son at one point actually said to me, you've spent like 3 years of your life trying to get her out, and she just doesn't want the help.
Right.
So it became the opposite for me.
So sometimes you think nothing is impossible, and you might actually take on an impossible task that just is not going to be changed, but you believe that's your job to do it. So then it becomes you failed because you couldn't do it. So, and the truth, she was right. Only she can change it. Were you going to say something, Phil?
Well, I can, yeah. My nickname was Dummy.
Your nickname was Dummy?
Yeah.
Okay, by whom?
So I proved it.
You proved
In
it.
a lot of ways.
Yeah, unfortunately. By whom?
By my dad,
Your dad.
yeah.
And what did your dad do for a living?
He was a horse dealer.
A horse dealer. And what did your mom do?
She was a nurse,
A nurse. So she was your nurturer.
yeah.
Okay,
She was
you
a
had-
martyr.
Did you have siblings?
No. Well, I later had step-siblings, but I was
Okay.
the only child.
Okay. And here's what always amazes me is like here, no matter how old we get, and if you look in his eyes, no matter how old you get, once you're given a name or anything else, it's almost like a scar. It's just like a scar. It's like a badge we wear, and for whatever reason, knowing it's just not true. But here's the irony is most of these names, most of these scars happened. How old were you? Do you remember when you first heard it? Do you remember the first time you heard it?
I was little.
You were little,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So here, and here's what happens. Remember I said 55% of your beliefs are formed by how old, do you remember? 5 years old. So you're told something as a young child that you dummy. Is it possible you didn't know everything yet? Of course, right? You're only 5 years old, right? So what happens is we're told something in our infancy when we're very young. We don't have the skill set. We don't have the knowledge. We don't have the know-how. And all of a sudden, because of that one comment, it became a badge. It became our identity. And it became who we are. And then all of a sudden, it doesn't even apply to you anymore, but we wear it as if it's real. And the irony about it is I believe there's not one of you here that's dumb, including you. Nobody here is dumb, because only a dumb person would not want to grow. So you're already not dumb. You know, it's like impossible. But yet, some things tell me also when somebody is told they're dumb or they're not enough, we do even more to prove, in some ways we might be self-fulfilling, but we'll do even more to try not to be that. Did you do that? You did both, okay. So it's how things get shaped. So what I want to do is I want to get some ideas of some people and some of your beliefs, because we're going to talk about our belief tree right now. And the belief tree is really interesting because the beliefs are the stories you tell yourself that you choose to make true, but they cannot be proved. None of them can be proved. I mean, other than money doesn't grow on trees, we don't really see that out there, right? But that you're not smart enough, or that you're not worthy, or what are some of the other beliefs you had? Go ahead.
Get richer and the poor get poorer.
The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. What were you going to say?
Just what you should do, what you shouldn't do, and being controlled.
You should, the shoulds and shouldn't, you know, what controls you and everything else. You know, you should, I say you shouldn't all over yourself. It's like you should shit all over yourself. The shoulds and shouldn'ts in our lives, right? So give me something that's a belief that's really, you feel is getting in your way right now. Anyone have one?
I was just thinking, my mother always used to say that money is the root of all evil.
Mm-hmm.
And I have definitely had a fear that if I made too much money, my relationship with my husband might change, or we might not like each other more, we might, become bad people somehow, or something bad would happen, because if something good like that would happen, then something bad might happen to me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Awesome. Awesome, meaning we'll get rid of that. Okay. Okay. Anyone else? Adina, give me a belief that you tell yourself.
I was raised with my father always telling me we're alone in this world and we're always relying on yourself.
Oh.
So, I did, I was very just
you know, I had a lot of friends, but I was into myself, but I grew up realizing that nothing was going to get done unless I did it, and not trusting other people. I didn't see that all until the past year of all my counseling that I have gone through. But it took me a long time to realize that, you know, I am loved, I'm not alone, and there's a lot of, you know, it's okay to talk about what you're going through, it's okay to express your emotions, it's okay, and, you know.
Okay, so yours was that you were alone and you couldn't rely on anyone else but yourself. Okay. Any others? Go ahead.
I was never told I was loved.
Okay. Were you shown you were loved?
I thought I was.
But what happened?
I think you need to hear it.
So you need to hear it. So your belief is because you weren't told that you might not have been loved.
I used to say that it didn't matter because I knew I was loved, but I never did hear it.
Okay.
And that always gets me crying every time I say that.
Mm-hmm. Does your husband tell you he loves you?
He did when I was married.
Okay, when you were married. You're not married now. Okay. You have children?
Yeah.
Do you tell them you love them all the time? Do they tell you they love you back? And what about your parents?
They did later on, but not when I was little.
Okay. So here I walk into Yardley's family, very, 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 very traditional Chinese family. Not from this country. They all came here. And here comes Lisa. Hi! And I'm hugging them. And I love you. It's so great. And they Yardley never, ever heard I love you. Ever heard I love you. And then he gets me, Miss Physical, and I'm like this, and so conservative. Oh my God, so conservative. The whole family doesn't understand any of this stuff, right? And it's very funny. Now Yardley's 50 years old, and we get off the phone with his parents, and his dad goes, I love you. And I'm like, it's like so cute. And they never did that before because it was culturally.
We were too British.
Yeah, and I didn't even know that, but culturally for them, you should just know that I love you because I'm taking care of you and you have a roof over your head and you have food and you have clothes and I put you to school. I love you. Can't you tell? Like that was the upbringing. So here comes Lisa going, well, Dad, that's nice, but sometimes it's nice to hear it too, you know? But he didn't know because culturally they didn't do that. And it's so funny, even his mom, they're not together anymore, different, you know, they're both remarried. But it's so funny, they get off, I love you, and I know this never existed before me, so I feel like I get all the credit here. It's like, yeah. It's so interesting because culturally, some people just don't do that, but you made it believe, you made a meaning out of that they must not love you. Okay, so are you dating anyone?
No.
Okay, do you have plans to ever...
I have had long-term, yeah.
Okay, would you like to be in a great relationship?
Yes.
Okay, would you like to get over some things that might impede that? Okay, so would you mind volunteering? Okay, come on. Come join us, give her a hand. Okay, I'm going to give you the, actually I'm going to have you write more, but I'm going to give you the mic. Okay.
I have a pretty loud voice.
Well, it's more about the recording for them.
Okay.
Okay. So what I'd like to do is, what would be the underlying meaning, the underlying thing you tell yourself as far as, you know, when it comes to love? What's the underlying thing?
Well, probably I'm not lovable or I'm not worthy of love.
I'm not worthy or I'm not lovable. Which one resonates more with you?
I guess at this point I would say I'm not worthy, but I didn't ever think that. I didn't ever consciously think that, but now I think it. Because why am I not in a great relationship?
Okay. How do you know you didn't think it before?
I could have subconsciously, but I don't. I just don't remember consciously ever thinking I wasn't worthy of love.
Okay, I'm going to have you write also, and if you can, okay. And I want you to write here, on the base of the tree, I want you to write that you're not worthy of love. I'm not, yeah, however you want to write it. The words you said, I'm not worthy. Now, what it is we're all going to do this after as well. You're going to do your own trees, but we're going to first work with Deborah, and then we're going to have you do that. But here's what happens. On the tree, Our beliefs are actually what will affect our motivation, our attitude, and our values. Motive does matter, and motive is the why you're going to do it. But if your belief is you're not worthy of love, let's start with where this came from. So where did you learn that you're not worthy of love?
You want me to write it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God, they would die if they knew I was saying this.
Okay, from parents. Okay, you didn't say it, you just wrote it. Do you see how she said she needed to hear that she was loved? They would die if she knew I was saying this, but did you notice she didn't say it? Because in her rules, she needed to hear that I love you, but she can't say anything bad about the very people who didn't say it. Did you realize that?
Yep.
So she didn't even have a voice to say that they didn't say it. Just take it in, okay? So now, this is where you learned that from. And what had to happen? Like, what were some of the things in the house that you were told that made you believe that to be true?
Some of the things in the house, so lack of affection.
Lack of affection. Now, what it is these are going to be the roots. Like, your tree didn't just come out. You have roots and foundation that created it. So it's like, I'm not worthy of love. How do you know? Well, parents told her it was a lack of affection. What else made you feel this way?
Well, not hearing.
Okay, so not hearing.
No. Not being told.
Mm-hmm. Did you have siblings?
Mm-hmm.
Were they ever told that they were loved or worthy?
I don't think so.
Okay, do you think they feel the same way?
Yeah, they definitely, we've talked about the fact that we weren't told that we were loved.
Weren't told. See, it's a very auditory family. Everybody needs to hear it in this family. Remember I said that the first time I heard my dad say, I love you. And the funny thing is I'm very visual, and that usually would tell me enough. Like, he was always there for me, took me everywhere when he got home, took me riding, we went for yogurt together. I mean, I was with him every weekend. I was never not by his side, but that didn't make me know he loved me. It was him telling me he loved me was my wake up, remember? So it's very interesting. It's like, where do you need to hear it, or what do you need to receive to know it's true for you? Because you can have two children in the same house. One doesn't ever hear it and feels so loved. The other one needs to be told that they're loved. It's just your receptors and how you receive it. So what would be some of the beliefs that, like, as far as coming around that you're not worthy in love, what are some of the things that, actions you took or things you did because of that?
Always looking for approval.
Okay, so looking for approval.
Yeah.
Okay, so looking for approval is part of our roots. Okay. From who?
My dad mostly.
Okay, for approval. In what specifically?
Got into trouble.
Like what?
I stole.
You stole? Okay, so you were looking to get their attention.
Yeah, I stole a purse from Kmart, and my dad made me take it back with him.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you found that if you couldn't get positive attention, you'll get some attention, better than nothing.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Anybody else relating to this? What we're going to do to get that attention of what you want to do? My brother stole something too from a candy store.
Yep.
Do you know what my mom did? This is so true because it's funny. So I'm 2.5 years younger than my brother, and my brother steals something. And we lived in I'm like a little kid. I didn't steal it. I just was with them. I'm an accomplice, I didn't know that. And then she goes, stick out your tongue. She says, if you have pimples on your tongue, you're lying. I didn't know they were taste buds. She goes, see, you're lying. And then Bruce goes, yeah. And then she makes them go back. And okay, so anyway, that's a good tool if you have little ones. Stick out your tongue. I did not know they were taste buds. I actually thought you'd get pimples if you lie. For years and years, I thought that. Please, no.
God.
Okay, so looking for approval. What else?
I was the caregiver. I was the protector.
The protector. Okay, so we're going to go to behaviors. What are some things that you value? What are things that are important to you today?
The children,
Your children, okay. What else?
grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
A house, a home.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What is things important to you? Like for me, integrity is really important to me. And that's huge because
Yeah,
I don't
I was
like.
going to say honesty.
Okay, so that's your values.
Yeah.
Because what happens is your values will help to support your beliefs. So if your belief is I'm not worthy of love, your values are going to be like all the things you're not getting in other areas. I need honesty, I need this, because this is what's going to support this belief to stay strong. This tree has to have roots. It has to have a foundation to be able to grow something, right? What else?
Communication.
Communication's obviously big because you need to hear that you're loved and you need to have the approval of others, and family. What other values are important?
I should be able to think for a million.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the behaviors that come of it. You just said it before. You said because of it, what was it you said a moment ago? Forgive me?
I'm a caregiver.
A caregiver. So because of these things, because I'm not worthy of love, you're a caregiver. Okay, because that means she gives love. Because if she's not getting it, she's going to give it, right? So she's going to support that belief. What other things? What other things do you do? Because you're not worthy of love, you're now single.
Yeah.
You're single. Mm-hmm. Are you a caregiver for your parents?
I was for my dad.
Well, that's interesting. Okay, and who are you now a caregiver for?
I'm just to everybody.
To everybody? Okay, do you work?
No, I was working. My job was just eliminated, but I do own a business.
Okay, so what were you doing for work before?
Marketing.
You were in marketing. So you chose a marketing career. You were in sales?
Yeah, marketing, sales.
Okay, can you write marketing?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I want to tell you the best way to feel bad about yourself is to go into sales. I'm
agree.
serious.
I agree.
I'm serious. Because you want, I love sales, but I don't have that challenge. It depends where you're at in your journey. Because marketing will put you in a position where you will not get approval all the time. Listen to this.
Yeah.
You will not get approval. You'll get a lot of rejection, which will help go back to I'm not worthy. It's a cycle if this is the core. Did you hear this?
Yeah.
Okay, please stay with me.
Yes.
Please stay with me.
Yes.
Okay, so marketing and sales is the profession you chose, and now you're a business owner, so...
So to start off, I was an at-home mom for 21 years.
Okay,
So I had no career, except that was my career.
okay, but then you were a stay-at-home mom, which obviously you got plenty of love from your kids, or at least made sure you gave plenty of love. Okay, so you're a mom, a mother and grandma up here too is the behavior. Okay. And now you own your own business also.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Went back to school,
What do you go to school for?
nutritionist.
It's for a nutritionist. So you can help more people.
Yeah, more caregiver.
More caregiver, okay, because you got to keep helping people, because if I help enough people, I'll feel worthy. Are you seeing the correlation? Okay. Okay. And what about the men in your life? Where are they?
Relationships, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
They're gone.
They're gone. Okay.
No relationship.
Okay, so no relationship now. How long has there been no relationship?
Like, just weeks,
Weeks? Okay, how long was the last relationship?
a year,
And how long was the one before that?
8,
8, and the one before that?
20,
So 28 and 1.
yeah.
So they get less and less. Okay. So how are you picking your men? What are you looking for in a man?
I'm looking for honesty, love,
Mm-hmm.
communication.
Okay. So I want to just put here, so for a man, just write man here, and I want you to write down who this man is. and what he needs to have. Okay.
Loving.
He has to be loving, he has to be honest, he has to communicate. What else?
Security.
Security. What's security mean?
To me, it means really just someone to be with and share your life with.
Okay.
And together.
To be there together.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not a financial security, it's a...
Oh,
it's
no,
a
it's financial too.
It's financial
Yeah,
too? Okay.
Financial security.
Okay. What else?
Affectionate.
Mm-hmm.
This is the big one now.
Okay.
Truthful.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and what would he have to be truthful about?
That what integrity, I guess, is
Integrity?
the word. Yeah.
Okay.
About, yeah.
Okay. Because right here, affectionate, loving, honest, and you can get a puppy right here that will give you this. I'm really serious about
I'm really
this.
thinking about it.
No, I don't want that to be your answer. Let's not do that. I'm just saying that for a reason. So describe this man to us. Like, tell us who this ideal man is. You don't have to write it down now for a moment. I want you to just describe him to us.
Well, this is someone who just thinks I'm the most amazing person in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to spend the rest of their life with me.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to be loving and laugh and have a really good time together. And be health conscious. And love family. They have to be family oriented, love kids.
So I'm going to ask you a question, sweetheart. Do you think you're the most amazing woman in the world?
Yeah.
You sure?
No.
Okay. So someone who's not worthy of loving does not think that. So here's what happens. What comes first? You want the right person, you want the ideal person, but who do you need to be to attract that person? So the reason why you have 20 years, 8 in 1 year is because you need to become the person first to find that person. What we most of the time do is, this is what I want, I put it out there, and then that person never shows up. It's great that you know what you want, but who do you need to be to attract that in your life? It doesn't have to be a man, it could be money, it could be health, it could be other things. Like, how do you have to show up? If somebody does not feel worthy of themselves, of love, then you're never going to find a loving person, because even if you did, you would never trust them, because you will think they're lying. Because how can they love you? Because you're not worthy.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Right. So you're going to lose an amazing man because of where you're at. So the only way to do that is that we have to cut down the tree, because this tree is going to give us more of the same. This tree is going to give us more no relationships.
Right.
This tree is going to give you more things where you will be single, and you'll keep having unbelievable men come into your life because you're beautiful, but when they get to know you, they'll see you don't feel worthy, and they're going to feel like they're not doing a good job. Guys' jobs, and men, you can correct me, isn't your ideal world is to make your woman happy? Yeah? Okay. If that woman cannot be happy on her own, you failed. Don't you feel that? Men, do you agree? You feel like you failed? So they will not stay in a relationship where they feel like they failed.
Right.
And here's the irony, and then women have these men in their lives, they go, they're not good. Yeah, but they're doing their best, but if they feel they can never make you happy, I remember there was a time when I wasn't going through the best stages when we lost the money in the market. I wasn't very happy. It's like, you know, what the hell do I do to make you happy? And I'm like, it's not your job. It's my job to make me happy. But he felt like he was failing me because he couldn't make me happy. Whose job is it to be happy?
Right.
You. It's your job to be happy, but if you don't come that way and you're looking for him to do it for you, you're never going to stay in a long relationship. Would you like to change that?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So we're going to do that. We're going to do that together then. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you come back up after. So we're going to have you put that down now. And everybody, this is what you're going to do. You're going to do your own tree. Does anybody have a question about the tree? Okay, because what we're going to do is, I'm going to have you do your own tree. I want you to write down, you're going to start with your base of what your belief is. Okay, we'll put some music on to do that. And then what I want you to do is write down the things you tell yourself, can I borrow it, sweetheart?
Sure.
You can write it on the tree. This is for you to write it on. So here I want you to write down what your beliefs are, the attitudes, who told you this, how you know this, what has to happen for that to be true, and then here are your values, what's important to you. And then the top is the behaviors. Those are the fruits of your labors. What happens? Maybe you said, I'm not smart enough, so your behavior was you got 10 degrees and you have your master's and your PhD and everything else because you had to prove you were smarter, right? So what is it, what became the behavior that came out of that belief? Does everybody understand that? Okay, we're going to give you like 5 minutes to do this, so go ahead, have fun. Anything you want to get rid of now.
Well, I mean, if it's a wrong belief, it's where I got rid of, but you really drove something.
I would like you to work on something now that, something is a current belief that you know that doesn't serve you, that you want to work on right now to eliminate. Gina just said to me, and I think that this is interesting because sometimes you have something that's a positive and it doesn't make sense. How can a positive be a disempowering belief? Okay, so I thought that this was something that would serve others. And what I do my best to do is, if there's something that's going on, and I think it's not just, you're not the only one, if I think that it's going to serve everybody else, I want to just make that part of a learning experience, because one of the things she said to me is, and I'll have you write it down here, is her belief is, I'm special. Now you would think, I'm special, right? So we'll have you write it down. I'm special would be like, okay, everything is great, right? And my question to her is, do you feel you're special? She says, well, I think I'm special. Did she answer my question? No. Because in thinking, when we're in our head, Yardley said, when you're in your head, you're dead. When you're in your heart, you're smart. What we do a lot of times is intellectually, as we're human beings and we think, we put ourselves in the head, we know better, we'll put ourselves up here, but to feel, I don't want to feel, that can hurt, right? So intellectually, yeah, well, I know I'm special, but do I feel deserving of being special? Am I showing up as someone special? Maybe not. Do you understand? So when I'd asked, she said, I think I am, but they think, then what was it you told me, what was part of the foundation?
Well, I don't really ever apply myself 100% of the time, but others think that I definitely apply myself. They perceive me as applying myself more than 100% of the time.
Okay, so others think that she's applying herself 100% of the time, but she's not. So
I'm not.
So what happens is she's special, so she doesn't apply herself 100% of the time, right? So she doesn't have to try. She doesn't have to apply herself. But other people perceive it, but she knows in her heart she's not showing up like she can. Mm-hmm. Would that be true?
That's true.
Okay. And because of that, you said that that you look as people think you're a leader in your profession, okay, mm-hmm. and how you do that. But some of the things that were interesting to me is when we go to the values, what's important to you here was family. What else? Integrity. Good. Honesty. Okay. And helping. So what's important, she's special, but she doesn't apply herself 100% of the time. Here's not funny. Integrity, honesty is a very big thing for her values, but yet the very thing she's not in herself is she's not honest with herself about being special, because she says, I'm special, but she doesn't believe it to be true all the time. Now, I'm not saying it has to be perfect all the time, but my gut is you don't believe it to be true most of the time, be that you're not showing up the way you want to.
Okay.
Would that be true?
I would say that's fair.
Okay. So what happens is, to feel better and to feel special, we got help from her friend. She ends up helping other people so that they'll think she's special. Because she doesn't really feel as special as she says I'm special. She grew up being told she's special. But make sure you feel special, you'll give and you'll help others so they'll think you're special. Mm-hmm. Here's the biggest thing that if we can achieve this, every human being achieve this, we'd have a very healthy world. If we can be special just by being. Just by being. Like, just You're you. You're special. Not because you did something, you said something, you look like something. You're just special because you're you. Just to be a present, you're a person, you can be special. But that's not what we grew up with. We grew up with you're special if, you're special when, right? When you achieve this, if you do this, right? There's conditions on special. But what if special was just being? That might be too easy, right? What if it was just being? So I'm special, but what happens is if you really felt it, you wouldn't have to be giving and helping so much to actually make it so other people will believe it too.
I feel like these two things are almost, it's just, I don't think about that.
Okay, but you don't have to, because unconsciously you don't believe you're special, so you have to make sure you do things that others, so you'll look special and feel special. And because of that, so I know you're a teacher, right?
I work in education.
So what it is so now she works with special needs, because they're special.
My whole life.
Okay, so it's special.
I'm exhausted.
I'm exhausted because she's giving, and your profession is special needs teacher. Special education. It's because she's special, so she has to work in a field of special education. Congruent. Okay. What else? Are you married?
I'm married.
Okay. And you obviously have family.
I don't have any children.
Okay, because I saw family. That's the thing.
But
Okay.
I have
you have the family. You have all the
family.
you have all the kids and that you're taking care
And
of.
those are my kids, sure.
Of course. Okay, married. And does he think you're special?
I think he does, yeah.
Okay. Do you tell him you're special?
Do I tell him I'm special? All the time.
Okay. I had a feeling. I don't know. I just had this feeling.
Him I tell.
Him you tell. Okay. Okay. And what do you tell yourself privately?
What do I tell myself privately? A lot of times I tell myself that I want to feel safe. I want to feel safe in my decisions, I just want everything to be nice, you know? So I want to feel safe.
What does safe look like?
I think safe is financial freedom, no worries. Financial. You know, no stress, which is impossible, I think. Would make me feel safe.
Mm-hmm. What's your husband do for work?
He's a Wall Street guy.
Mm-hmm. Okay. He's in the financial industry?
Yep.
It's not safe.
No, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
He's a 9/11 survivor.
Mm-hmm. So he's special?
He's special.
Mm-hmm. Because he made it out.
Mm-hmm.
What else looks like? What are some of the things you do to protect yourself so you can feel safe?
What do I do to protect myself?
Mm-hmm.
What do I do to protect myself? I guess I surround myself with people that I think will support me.
Mm-hmm.
So I surround myself with strong people.
Mm-hmm. So here's what I want you to see is I'm special, but I don't always feel like I'm special because I don't apply myself 100%. I'll make up for it by making sure I'm helping, giving others. I'm going to surround myself by people that can support me, that I can't support myself, that are strong and will lift me. I'm going to do things for others so I can continue to feel special and help those people with special needs, but yet you're exhausted because you're giving more than you're getting.
Mm.
You want to feel safe, but unfortunately, based on the guidelines you set up, there won't be a safe because there is such thing as stress, less stress, not no stress, but less stress. This event would have been so much stress. We had the news coming, other things. We had a lot of press coming until the storm. That became more important. That could have been stress for most people. I mean, we had all these other things, and amazingly, I'll give you some tools later today, this afternoon, I don't deal with stress the way I used to. I don't do stress. You hear me? I don't do stress. Mm-hmm. Not that I don't have stress in my life, I choose not to do stress because it doesn't work for me. It's awful. And when I do stress for that 2 minutes, it's 2 minutes too much for me. I have to stop and just take a deep breath and say, okay, it's not working anymore. Let's do something else. But you want to feel safe. But you said it was financial freedom and no worries. You said no worries. You didn't write it down. Because I have to ask you, will there ever be a time in our lives where we won't have something to be concerned about? Okay. So are we setting ourselves up for failure or success here? Do you know what financial freedom is?
No.
Okay. So you never could achieve it.
Right.
Okay. So when you have goals and you have things that you think you need, but you don't know what it is, you'll never get there. You need to know what that means. It's a very misused word. People, I want financial freedom. Well, what does that mean? To me, financial freedom means today, and I didn't share this before, we went from $500,000 in debt. We have no debt at all. We own $1.5 million home. We have no mortgage. We have no debt. You know, we're in a financial situation very different than we were 13 years ago. Financial freedom to me is I have no bills that I cannot pay. I can pay all my bills. I don't have to look at a price tag when I go to the restaurant. I know our room and board are covered for 10 years minimum, that I don't have to worry about anything for at least 10 years. That to me is financial freedom. I have a definite thing, and I know exactly what that costs to maintain that lifestyle. Does this make sense? When somebody says, I want financial freedom, if you don't have a number that actually defines what that is, you can never achieve it. You'll always feel unsafe. Because you'll never know when you got there. And if you have no target, there's no way to achieve it. You understand?
I do.
Okay. So we're going to go to the next step, but hopefully this helped you a little bit and helped everybody else. But we're going to now take it all for everybody and yours. Thank you.
Thank you.
Give Gina a hand, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much. So what do you do with it from here? From here it becomes, okay, we become self-fulfilling prophecies. If you look at your tree, did you notice that when your tree, the behaviors and the outcome was supporting how you felt? Did you notice that? It supports everything? Did I lose anybody? I want to make sure it's important. Everybody has a limiting belief that they want to get rid of, right? Yes? Okay, good. So here's what I want you to do. I know this is going to sound strange, but you promised me at the very beginning you'd all play full out. Do you remember that promise? Okay, so this is the time you're going to show it, okay? So what I'd like you to do is I want you to take that limiting belief that you had, and we're going to cut down the tree. And what it is in order to cut down the tree, the way the neurotransmitters in our mind work, we have to play with it. We have to almost like cross out that highway, give it a new road, give it a whole new way to get there so it can't get there the same way so that it doesn't keep going back. So we have this incredible exercise we do called a rant. What is it? A rant. Did anybody ever rant before? Like you just keep you're saying all kinds of stuff and you just keep saying it and like you don't even stop to breathe. You just keep going, you keep going. Well, we're going to do a rant. And I want you to do the rant with someone you don't personally know. And here's the important instructions on this rant. You're not listening to the other person. Are you listening to the other person? No. They're just there so you have somebody else doing it with you so you don't feel silly. Okay? So they're just doing their own thing. You just happen to be with each other. Okay? Are you listening to the other person? No. It's going to be so loud in this room, you will not hear what the other person's saying. So you don't have to go, what'd you say? It doesn't matter what they say. This is not about them. It's about you. Okay? So you're going to do a rant. And what you're going to do is you're going to rant for like 2 minutes all the ways you're going to mess up. And you're going to continue to feel bad about yourself. Now, some of you are going to say, I don't know what to say. You've been saying it for years. You know what to say. So if your thing was, I'm not enough, you're going to say, I'm not enough. I'm not going to show up at my best. I'm going to watch TV. I'm not going to go do the extra thing I said I was going to do. I'm not going to do this. And I'm going to actually just complain. I'm going to whine all the time, like all the things you probably do now. You're going to actually rant like a 2-year-old. What? A 2-year-old, and be totally ridiculous. And the crazier you are, the more it gets out of your system. Why? It's because you're so wired to stay like this that you keep doing the same thing. So I want to kind of shake up our nervous system, and the best way to do it is through a rant. It's the easiest way, fastest way to get there without 5 years of therapy. I think this is so much better, right? You're my original tree. I'm going to start there. Okay, so this is your new tree. I didn't let you cut it down, but I figured you just cut it down there. Do you feel like you cut it down? Okay,
Yeah.
do you remember what it was?
My limiting belief?
Yeah.
Yes.
What was it?
That I'm not worthy.
Okay, so what's the antithesis of that? What's the truth?
I am lovable.
I am lovable. So let's write our new tree. So you have a second piece of paper. We're going to create a new tree around this, okay? So the truth is, whatever it is, like what you just did, what's the truth, right? So I want you to actually do the new tree. I'm lovable. Now, what does someone who's lovable need to believe? Let's put some of the things here. What are some things that will make you believe that you're lovable?
People want to be with me.
So let's put them in there. People want to be with her. What else?
I make people happy.
You make people happy. What else?
I attract honest people.
You attract honest people. Okay.
I am happy.
I am happy. Good. What would be some of the values that you carry that support that you are lovable?
I'd say integrity and honesty.
Okay, integrity and honesty.
Compassion.
Compassion.
Loving.
Mm-hmm. I was waiting to see if you got there. Loving. Someone who's lovable would be loving. Okay. And what would be some of the outcomes that can happen when somebody is lovable and compassionate and loving and honesty and integrity? What can be some of the outcomes that can come for you?
This is my big one right here. Peace.
Peace. Okay. And what's peace mean?
Peace to me is happiness.
And happiness. Okay.
And success.
Mm-hmm. What other things do you think what other things would you be doing, and how would you get that? What would be different when someone believes they're lovable? They're up here. How do you show up?
Openness.
Mm-hmm. Openness, open.
Happy.
Mm-hmm. You think someone who's open and happy would attract a lot of people into their lives?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Especially if they're nutritionists. Mm-hmm. What would that?
Helping people.
You'd be able to help people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And helping people, what would that do for you?
It would make me happy.
It'd make you happy, but it also builds your business.
Yep.
So you'd have a thriving business.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And how do you think that would affect relationships in your life?
Attract relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Attract healthy.
Healthy.
relationships.
It's good to be specific. Okay, what else? How do you think things will change in your own family with your kids and your grandkids? Would it be even better? How would it be even better?
Successful children.
Mm-hmm.
Happy.
Mm-hmm.
Happy families.
Mm-hmm. You think that if you're coming into a family and you don't feel lovable when the family's together, do you think they all feel loved? They feel loved? Probably not, right? So be able to bring that into an environment would change that there too, right? Okay. And
Yeah, my kids knowing that I'm happy is really important. Kids knowing I'm okay,
more than okay.
I'm happy.
Okay. And what kind of guy would you attract, being lovable?
I would attract a loving man. A loving, honest man. Attract good men.
There's a lot of them out there.
A good man. I want just one. I want a good man. Good men are awesome.
They are.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
I want to have a vision with somebody, a shared vision.
Okay.
And I want to have passion. And success.
Okay. So look at the difference from our other tree before, where we had no relationship, mom, business owner, nutritionist, single caregiver. We looked for honesty, loving, financial security. Security didn't even come in right now, by the way. It wasn't important. Because quite honestly, if you're already successful, you don't need somebody else's money because you're already doing it. And it'd be nice, the two will make it that way. Affection, integrity, but that wasn't as much as having a good man in your life. You see the difference?
Yes.
You didn't even come up being a caregiver. And caregiver was a big thing for you before. And it's not even that, because now you are helping other people, but you didn't even use the word caregiver.
Yeah. I have another one here I like too, and this is another one that I want to be, is fearless.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's give Deborah a hand. Deborah a hand. Awesome. So here's what I want everybody to do. You're going to do your new tree right now, and then after we're going to do something else to reinforce that new tree, okay? So your new tree is whatever the opposite of your old thing was, is who you want to be, right? Not what you said before, but what your better belief will be, your empowering belief will be, okay? So you're going to write your empowering belief, and with the other paper, I would like you to do your new tree. Okay, we'll give you 2 more minutes again for that. And this time, this will be even more fun. You don't have to be Mickey Mouse or anything. This is easy. You're going to actually do another rant, but in your own voice, full of excitement, knowing that what you're going to share is true already. Not will be, but is, and you're going to show up that way. So I'd like you to find someone, and what you're going to do is with that person, Phil, you're going to pretty much tell them all the reasons this is going to happen. Like I am, whatever your I am is, that you started with what your belief is, and then you're going to tell them all the reasons it's going to happen. Every reason down to your bones, like this is going to happen because, and nothing's going to stop you because, and this is what you're destined to, you see? And again, we don't need to hear each other. Do we need to hear each other? No. We're just going to find someone, and we're going to see who can be louder, who can be more energetic, who can be more excited, whose arms can go wider. Because I'm going to tell you, if you're there telling somebody, I can do this because, I don't believe you're going to get it. I'm sorry, my belief. If you say, I'm going to do this because this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and you give them everything, 50% chance you'll get it. If you just put everything into it, Phil, probably 100% you'll get it, okay? So I really want you to just... Well, and you know what? Your shoulders don't do that. Okay, you might want to use your legs. Okay, whatever it's going to take, I want you to move your body as you're doing it. Be as expressive as possible. Do you need to hear what the other person's saying? No, not at all. Who cares what they're saying? Who's this about? Me. Yes, it's you. So it's all about you. This is all about you, okay? Find a new partner you haven't met yet. And when we start the music, you're going to play full out. Great job. How do you feel? Woo! Oh, man. So I want to see, are there any shares? How do you feel from where you were before to where you are now, just with those couple exercises? Anyone like to share?
It's like you opened a door.
It's
like you opened a door where it's like the possibility is there. Like you walk through and it's a brand new room, a brand new everything to look at.
That's awesome. Give her a hand. Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else? I see a hand.
So I just feel like a roadmap. We've created a roadmap. You know, it's not just like I wish someday, but it's like this is where I am, this is where I'm going, and these are some of the steps I need to take to get there. It just feels more real.
Very nice. Give her a hand. Yes. Anyone else? And can I have you share? How was that for you?
Feels like you're finally telling yourself what you should have been telling yourself a long time ago. You wish you would have done it sooner.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And how's that feel?
Feels good, like we want to keep doing it.
Awesome. Awesome. Give him a hand. Thank you.
So after the first exercise, I wanted to cry from where I was. And after the second tree, I'm like, I can do this. I am so excited, and I know exactly what I need to do.
Yeah, you give her a hand. Awesome. Did the hand go up there? Sorry.
I found the whole process was extremely empowering. I found that the second exercise came so naturally, and it was so much easier to do than the first exercise. The first it's like it was easier to focus on what I wanted and where I wanted to be, and attracting that through the positive affirmations, rather than digging up these negative feelings that I didn't want to identify with anymore. And it's like, why am I ranting about something that I've been ranting about for all these years when I just want to let it go and move past it?
Awesome. Awesome. Give her a hand. And it's pretty easy to do the first rant, right? The second one is like, okay, now I'm going to be positive. And that's like a whole thought process. You actually have to go into your head for a minute and go, I don't say this normally. What am I going to say now, right? I have to do something positive. And to make that a habit until you exercise the muscle so much that it's a normal reflex just to go there. And it happens. It really does happen.